Another one that doesn't need any introduction on the channel. We have the Chery TIGGO 8 Pro Max AWD, and we've been looking for this one. You know very well that the last time we did a Chery here was the TIGGO 8 Pro 8, but it was not the all-wheel drive. And today, that's what we want to experience. We just want to experience this car on gravel. I'm not going to say much about it because you know that that's something that I owe you, and I promised you that I'll bring it at some point. And hey, we're going to do it today. Otherwise, welcome to the channel. It's Sibo, and I appreciate that you're here with me today. Without further ado, you know how we do it on the channel. Let's just hit the road and see what this car is all about, because you can see that the sun is going down. So I want you to see what is it all about. Let's go now. But look at this thing. Come on. Come on. This thing looks amazing. And I don't see anything. If anything comes out of this dust, I won't be able to see it. So let's play safe. It's like trying to correct you all the time. I mean, there's nothing to correct here. There are no lanes. There's nothing. Just push. Push. Okay, man. Are we fine? That was a little violent. So it's time to hit the road, guys. So yeah, let's just do that because it's late already. You know this seat, ne? It's memory seat, but when you get in, it doesn't necessarily take you back into the place that you left it. I don't know why. But let's do that. Probably close the sunroof. We don't want the noise. And push the seat back into position. Sunroof is closed. So we are hitting the gravel now. This is the AVM. You know, when it comes to Chery, this is something that you can't beat easily. And HAVAL as well. Their camera systems are great, but now I see that it's dusty and stuff. So yeah, I think, let me put it on normal. Normal mode entered. Okay, anyway, let's be on the move. I have to say, I haven't driven it on gravel like fast and so on. I've just driven it now when I was coming here so that I can shoot. But hey, I'm not comfortable. As a matter of fact, I even had to put it down, the seats at the back, down to 5-seater mode, so that I do not have a lot of things that are moving around in the car, like your, hey, what is this thing now? Your 7 seats that are up and so on, the 2 seats at the back. So I'm just saying, just in case it's gonna have movements and so on, because it feels a little bit, man, I don't know how to say it. It feels sensitive, man, to this kind of conditions. And I'm not sure, when I was driving that front wheel drive, I don't think it felt like this, but this, for some reason, it feels like that. But it does have the off-road mode, which means it allows us to go on gravel, and that's exactly what we want to do. It's getting late. I see everyone's lights on except for this Avanza and the other 2 cars, of course. Ow, okay, let me just keep quiet on the lights thing. Look, on the road like this, you won't really have much to complain about. It's just that if there's one thing, I keep comparing this car, of course, to the H6, and because now it's around 700, I will bring in the likes of your Kia Sportage. As much as it's a little bit small, it's not a 7-seater, but if I was to talk comfort, I don't know why it keeps saying I was distracted. I'm literally just facing the road, man. I don't know what's wrong now with that. Look, you won't have much to complain about, but I have to say, from comfort perspective, I've said this before when it comes to the Chery TIGGO 8 Pro, that you do feel that it's long, and this suspension is a little bit stiff compared to the competition. In my view, yes, it's comfortable, it's not loud, I can live with it. It's not something that I can say it will deter you from buying the car, but at the same time, it's noticeable, especially if you've been driving the other cars. So when you're going to test it, maybe if you want to buy it, that's something that you will feel that it's a little bit different on the road. But it's not off. It's not off. It's still a 700k kind of ask in terms of what it offers. I don't think for me that is a big problem, but as usual, we just got to our gravel road. Guys, if you want details on the Chery TIGGO 8 Pro in terms of everything that it offers, you know for sure that I have multiple videos, including this one. When it came out, I did a walk around for you guys to show you everything around the car, what it offers and so on and so on. At the time, I think maybe probably the other things that I didn't do, I don't even remember what is it that I didn't do, but here we are. This is our gravel. I've checked it before. There hasn't been much of rain, but because then sometimes there's a lot of cars that are taking this gravel routes and so on, you might find that maybe now it's a little bit off. As usual, let's do the car check and make sure that everything is fine. This is sitting on 235/50 19-inch tires, and these are road tires. These are not off-road tires, so I don't know what to expect from them. And hey, this thing looks amazing. This thing looks amazing. I have to say, this is one of the most beautiful cars that you're gonna see on the road. So yeah, based on our check right now, it looks like everything is fine. We're gonna do our run right now. But look at this thing. Come on. Come on. This thing looks amazing. And I have to say that today is not the day to talk about whether it's the most beautiful or not. We wanna know whether it handles the road much better than the front wheel drive, because when we brought in the H6 GT at the time that we drove it, afterwards we drove the front wheel drive 8 Pro Max, and it was the pre-facelift one. It was not the all-wheel drive one. So now we have this one, and we're gonna have to put it on. Oh, not sports mode, no. I don't know who they used to do this thing, but it's a little bit funny, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There's like a fly or something, because where I was parked there was like flies and so on. So we're on off-road mode. You know what we were, let me turn off this auto thingy. So we're talking 187 kilowatts, 390 newton meters of torque. So it's a lot of power. And if there's one thing about it, it is not lazy, it is not slow, but the fuel consumption is quite high, and that's something that you're gonna have to live with when you're driving this car. Let me see how much we're averaging now. This is for now. Let's go to trip. I think it's still locating me. It says 8 kilometers. This is since start. But overall it's 12.8 over the last 175 kilometers. So that's quite high. That's quite high, because yeah, that's, I mean, I think in the Raptor it was around 14 or so. So you can imagine just how high this thing is. But hey, let's kick it. You remember we used to have wheel spin in the 2-wheel drive one. I hope here we're not going to feel that. And I don't know what is the speed limit on the off-road mode, but normally these cars are limited to 100. Let's just, I'm gonna push it down. Okay, this is much better, I have to say, in terms of pickup. Shoo! Woo! This thing is quick though. If there's one thing about it, one thing I can't blame it for, it's that it's quick. And I have to say, immediately I can feel the difference between this and the front wheel drive, because in there was wheel spin for days, and one needed to be careful all the time whenever they're taking cabs. Like, you could feel that anytime anything can happen. But right now I have to say already, this is a slippery road, of course, guaranteed, but I can feel already that we're in a different mode altogether. It's a little bit relaxed, and I expected worse from the perspective of what I don't see anything. If anything comes out of this dust, I won't be able to see it. So let's play safe. Let's play safe. Let's play safe. That Land Cruiser, come on. Yes, this is a lot of dust. It shows that it's been a while since we've had rain in this side of things, and you can already hear when you're driving slow that it's not necessarily rattling like, but will I be? Woo! Guys, this thing is quick. Yes. No, okay. I'm impressed. I'm impressed so far. And when it comes to everything, how it's holding up, this is a smooth road. I have to say, I've driven on this road in the, what was it now? The Everest. I think the Everest for me was the best when it comes to this. It was just the best, man. It was amazing. In fact, this feeling reminds me of the XUV 700 as well, and the GLC 220D. I drove it on gravel. It was not as smooth as this, but it held on quite well, especially because that one had the what is this thing, airmatic suspension. But in the composure in here, it's quite good. You remember, just go and check the front wheel drive video that I did on gravel. You'd see how uncomfortable I was, and I wasn't confident in doing things like this on a curve, especially because I thought, hey, this thing, but now, okay. Okay, man. No, they've resolved everything that I complained about actually on this car. Yes. Nah, they've resolved everything. This thing can grip. Once you put it on off-road like this, we're on. I see on, Shim. See on. And it's holding on quite well, but you can actually hear that if you find like a very bumpy section of the road, you might get some rattling that is happening. As much as the 7-seater, I sometimes forgive them because at the back, the rear seats do actually rattle a bit. But in here, I do feel that when I meet road imperfections, that's when then I feel them a little bit more than I would have expected. And the steering wheel as well, I don't know, because it feels like it's electronically assisted. It reminds me of the Omoda as well, but in the Omoda it was worse. It was like trying to correct you all the time. I mean, there's nothing to correct here. There are no lanes, there's nothing. Just push. Okay, man. Nah, they've resolved this stuff. They've resolved my complaints. Thank you, Chery, for this. I think I've seen enough already. They've resolved the stuff that I was complaining about. And yeah, there is composure here. There is comfort as well. For off-road, I wouldn't complain much if my car felt like this when I'm driving off-road. To the guys that I'm passing, I apologize because there's a lot of dust following me right now. But this is something that I promise that I will give the people. Man, this thing is quick. And yeah, I just want a bumpy section so that I can feel if it's going to do this. I'm expecting some rattles here and there because I felt them on the road as well. On the normal road, when you hit hard bumps, it does sound like it does have some rattles here and there. The doors as well, when you're closing them, I'm not feeling that thud that you get like boom when you close the door. It's a little bit loud. I think this section can help with that, but it's not enough. I think this road was just cleaned up, whatever that is, just recently, because this is a well-maintained road, by the way. That's why sometimes I don't like using it when it comes to buggies, because you won't get much. You will feel like you're on the tar road as normal as it might be. But I was already here, guys, and that's why I'm bringing the TIGGO 8 Pro in. But the way it moves, man, yeah, this is a rough section a bit. Nah, the suspension is alright. It's alright for off-road like this. They didn't put that mode in here by mistake. But the interior panels, I can tell you now that when you are hitting like imperfections like this, road imperfections like this, because sometimes when it comes to gravel, when you're driving slow, that's when you get to get inside the bumps properly. When you're fast, it's like you're on top of them. But when you're driving slow, that's when you can feel the panels just, can you hear that? Can you hear that? The panels just shaking a little bit more and making a little bit of loud noises and so on. But overall, I can't really say I'm gonna complain much, But if it was my car, I would be thinking, okay, not sure if I want to bring it here all the time. I can bring it here like sparingly and enjoy myself on off-road mode and so on, but not every day. And the feedback that I'm getting on the steering wheel as well, it's, I don't know, man, this steering wheel feels a little bit artificial for me. I don't know why. I'm sure there's smarter people that can tell me why does it feel like this. There's something in front of me, I can't see it, but it's just the dust. Whatever is in front of me is quite quick. I'm gonna stop a little bit actually and try to play the sound system while I'm driving on gravel to just try. I want to show you. You see what's happening? You see when you're driving slow, it's like those, you can feel that the panels are moving. That's the right test actually, just to feel if the panels are well put together. It's not entirely off, but I can't really say I'm entirely confident that I can bring it here all the time and actually drive it out here with comfort and everything else. So I just want to play a track, man, that maybe Gubei, I think Gubei is fine. This phone is not connected, guys. Let me take it off. Okay, so this is a Sony sound system with 10 speakers in it, and okay, we're on drive. Let's hit it again. That was violent, man. That was violent, man. It sounded like it sounded off a bit. It sounded a little bit off. What was that? Oh my god, it's so dirty. Man, this polish that they use on these tires, it's just grabbing a lot of... Are we fine? That was a little violent. Okay. Okay, let's pick up some speed. Okay. Why am I saying this train station? This railway is no longer working by the look of things. Otherwise, yeah, I think it does manage to reduce the noises a bit, but that section was actually a little bit more violent and exactly what I expected. You see, like this section, it sounds like things are shaking a bit just behind me. That's why I'm saying I don't think it's a car that I would want to bring it out here all the time, because this screw. Can you hear that, guys? It's not like it's rattling like through the annoying, but I have to say that don't think I'll bring it here all the time if it was my car. And Chery, I apologize, but I had to do this test because I mean we can take this off-road, right? This section is a little bit tough on the car, I have to say. I'm so sorry, Chery. I apologize. Can you hear all this, guys? But otherwise, I have to say, if I have to compare to my experience in the recently introduced Ford Territory, I think I'll still take this car overall in what it offers. But but right now it's really shaking. Right now it's really shaking. I mean, at 730,000, there's just a lot that you're getting in here. I'm looking at what this car offers right now and how it feels on the road as well. I think it's just one of the best cars that you can get, but there's a lot of consideration that you have to do, especially if I have to think about the H6 GT, because remember, our main point of coming here with the Chery TIGGO 8 Pro was actually to compare it to the H6 GT, because we had some fun in that, man. That thing handled off-road quite well. From the perspective of the quality of the car itself and everything else, it handled everything quite well, and I was left impressed with that car so much that, yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why I ended up having to come out here with the Chery like this. But I have to say, the overall offering that they've done in terms of how this car looks, how it feels, I think they've managed to capture premiumness, luxury, and everything else, because this car looks amazing. From outside, the DRLs in front, the addition of the light bar at the back as well, this brake light, the way it illuminates, I actually love how this car looks. I can't hide it. The proportions on the side as well, everything that it offers from practicality perspective. I mean, this is quite a good car. I think for what they're asking from you, they're not asking for too much, because it's such a good car overall. So from that perspective, I think I understand why then they priced it at this point, especially because it's an all-wheel drive. How many cars are you going to find that are all-wheel drive and they can offer you this much spec, from the adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, emergency brake warnings, and all these things that are happening in this car? There's just so much spec. I won't finish if I start reading it. If you want more information, go to the other videos and check it out, because this is such a good car. I like what they've done as well with the new changes that they've done. It does look a little bit like Mercedes, we can't hide away from that, but these days I have to say, you have to take inspiration from those that can do it better, and they've managed to capture it well in this car. Steering wheel, I like how it looks, everything else, but this fuel consumption is quite high, around 13 liters for a 2 liter. It's a little bit too high, but in terms of how it looks right now compared to where we started, woo-wee, this thing is dirty and I have to take it to the car wash. Otherwise, guys, really appreciate that you've been here with me tonight. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I am out.